Hello guys, in today's video we're going to talk about what I think is right now the best solo gold farm. A lot of you guys are new into gold making or farmers, so I thought it was actually time for me to make some research and find the best and most entertaining gold farm that there is out there right now, at least in my opinion. What I'm talking about is the Dark Moon Cleft follower dungeon. You might have heard about this before, since it has been a thing during this whole expansion, but maybe you are like me and thought that this actually fell off. But what I can tell you from all of the numbers that I have gathered, this one has not fell off, and it is actually really good and so extremely easy to do. So this farm now will actually be the one that I will recommend to everybody to start doing if they are low on gold. So we're going to go through in detail exactly what you need to do this farm, what professions you need, what gear requirements there are, how much gold per hour you can make, and so on. By the way guys, in the end of this video I will let you know how you can bypass the daily 50 limit lockout that you will get when you are running this dungeon. I don't know if this is intended by Blizzard or not, but we will be discussing that later in the video. Okay, so first let's go briefly through how we are farming this and what we're actually doing. So basically the only thing you need to do is queue up for the Dark Flame Cleft dungeon as a follower dungeon. You will instantly get a queue pop since you will be playing with bots during this, so you just accept. You get into this part of dungeon. What you see here is you got 4 NPCs with you, and in this first room here is all of the mobs actually that we are going to kill in this farm. This is extremely easy and can be done with all classes out there. So what I do here is basically I just press my AoE spell and pull everything. It's really easy. As you can see, I just kill the mobs right here. It goes very fast. As you can see, that was a whole run. Now I'm finished with this dungeon. What I now need to do is basically just loot my mobs, and now I will reset the dungeon. So now there is a bit of a gimmicky thing that you need to do here if you want to optimize this. You don't have to do this, but there is a macro that you can use, so you will skip being ported out of the dungeon when you are actually resetting the dungeon. So what I do here is I actually jump, and then I will press my macro, and then I will jump again. So I jump, press macro, and jump again. And you can see that I will not be teleported out, and I would get a new queue pop. And this is the fastest way currently to just get into the dungeon again and being able to run another run. So as you can see, doing 50 runs in here is really fast. I have managed to do it in pretty much 25 minutes. So doing 50 runs in 25 minutes, it's just giga fast. And I think you will actually enjoy this farm because it is so fast to do and really enjoyable actually, because there are no like hard things to do and you're solo, so it goes really quick. But that is basically how you run it. So if you do not jump when you reset the dungeon, basically all that will happen is you will get out of the dungeon, so you will get a loading screen and you will get queued up again just automatically, and you will have to go into the dungeon again. So you will have 2 loading screens. This will heavily impact your actual gold per time spent if you want to min-max it, but if you don't, like, you can do it either way. So this is basically a macro. Blizzard shouldn't have any problem with this macro since it has been in the game this whole expansion, so it shouldn't be any problem. I am using it. Everyone that is farming in here is using it. I just don't know if they have okayed it or not, but basically it is really nothing game breaking that is happening, because this is something you can do manually as well. So I wouldn't say the macro is something that they wouldn't like. So that's the basic part of running the dungeon, and as I said, I can finish 50 runs in basically 25 minutes, a little bit less. Guys, please subscribe to the channel. I have a goal of reaching 4,000 subscribers, and also please go ahead, join the community Discord down in the description. We are currently doing some giveaways in there. I think you will like it, but let's go on with the video. So for the profession that you're going to need for this is actually you're going to need 1 profession, but if you want to optimize it, you're going to need 2. So basically tailoring is the number 1 you want, and this is the profession that is going to bring you in the majority of gold, because in the world within you are not able to loot cloth unless you are a tailorer. So it's actually really important to be a tailorer, and the spec you're gonna want in tailoring is 30 points into textile treasures, you're gonna want 30 points into quality fabric, and you're gonna want 30 points into from dawn until dusk, so you can unlock both of them at 0, which basically means that you will be able to loot Duskweave and Dawnweave. This is the only thing that you need in terms of spec. It's 90 knowledge points, and that is something that you can get really really easy nowadays. You should be able to pretty much just set this up immediately. So what I have done when I have run this dungeon and when I have gotten my numbers, I have done this quite a few times right now, and I seem to end up on around 13.5 thousand gold per the 25 minutes that I spend. So if we just take the calculator right here and do the simple maths, we know that we can make 13,500 gold in 25 minutes. So we divide that, we make actually 540 gold per minute, and then we time that by the minutes there is in an hour. We see that we can make 32,400 gold, which is really good. I usually say that this is a 30k gold per hour farm, since that would be on the lower end and will be completely realistic amount of gold that we actually make. Then of course this depends on the cloth prices, so we'll see if it goes up or down, but it should stay around this price. I don't think the prices of cloth is going to be impacted that hard. But adding inscription to this will give you some more gold. The calculation we just did is actually with inscription included. If you're not using inscription, I would say that you are going to make everything from between 3 to 5,000 gold less per hour. So it is not mandatory to get inscription, but if you plan to do this a lot, it is actually very good, because you will be missing out on a lot of gold. And the only spec you need in inscription is going to be this. You need 30 points into cryptic collection, so you can unlock all of the Darkmoon sigils here to be able to put 15 points in all of them, so you can increase your ability to find Darkmoon cards. And this is basically all of the specs you need to do this farm, so it's really easy to set up. It's 90 points in here as well. I think I pretty much set up those two in one day. I'm not fully sure, but it was really quick to set up. And I think this is actually really worthy to jump on now, because 30k an hour farms in this time of the expansion is rare, especially when you're doing them solo, so you don't have to deal with any joining of groups, etc. I know that there are probably going to be few of you in the comments down there that's going to tell me that there are better farms out there. Maybe it is. I am not the best at this, but one thing I just want to say is that if you're going to talk about farms that includes groups, you have to also include the time that you are setting up the groups or joining groups in your gold per hour. A lot of people usually just take this as granted and don't actually calculate all the time that you spend around it. And this is actually why when I calculate this gold per hour, I am not putting my cards together or anything like this, or crafting anything with it. I am just calculating based off putting everything on the auction house immediately without dealing with any kind of crafting with the stuff that I got. We don't even put the cards together, because if you do that, it is going to take so much longer time to actually sell the cards. And if you want to do this like realistically, you would have to add that to the gold per hour as well. So I just want to be as fair as possible and actually talk about the correct numbers. So I say this is a 30k gold per hour. So now we have talked about the professions and the setups you need. Let's just briefly talk about gear. I have 590 item level. That is perfectly fine. I got it from the Siren Isle. I did it really fast. If you have better gear than this, you are probably going to pull this out way faster than me. I don't know which class is the best for this. I just know that any class is viable pretty much. I know I have viewers that is doing this on a Holy Priest, so you can do this on anything to pull this off, and it is really great. Okay, so let's talk about two more things real quick, and it's going to have to do with the daily lockout that you are going to experience in the Darkflame Cleft. So I don't think that Blizzard is fully knowing what they are doing here, because I have tried to find anywhere where they say that they are allowing us to run 50 runs of Darkflame Cleft and then having a daily lockout. I haven't found it, because we are basically killing no bosses in a follower dungeon, and doing a run like this, I think that there should be no limits actually realistically running it like this, and I haven't seen they say anything about it, but you will get locked out after you have done 50 runs. But there is one way you can circumvent this, and I will let you know in just a second. First, I will just show you quickly that there is an option to run this more than the first room. However, this is nothing I recommend if you are going to use the next step that I'm going to show you with resetting the dungeon, because the more mobs you kill here, like the more time you spend behind that entrance over there, the less gold per hour you're going to make. So the fastest gold per hour, and to maximize this, is just to kill the first room. Going any further will decrease your gold per hour, but it will increase the run length of every run, which means that if you don't want to do more than 50 runs each day, you can still do longer runs to make it more gold, but of course it will take more time. So I just want to include that, but let me first just quickly kill those mobs again. Okay, so now we killed all of the first mobs. What you do then is you can come here to the next room. So there is a boss like down the room, like far away there. So if you want to do the longer run here, what you want to do is kill all of the mobs in this room, but not the boss. As you can see, there are some mobs here and there, and up there, and up there, and towards there, and even before the next pillars. I struggle with this. I cannot pull all of these mobs in one pull, so I will have to do it in 2 pulls, just this room. So it will greatly increase the time the run takes if you do this. So that is something you have to be aware of. So if you're going to use the reset, I would not spend any time in here because those mobs are way more annoying to kill and stronger, and it will take you way longer time per kill. Okay, so now you know that you can go further in the dungeon if you want to do this at max 50 runs each day. Okay, so let's now talk about how you can reset this and do unlimited runs each day. I don't know what Blizzard thinks about this, but as I said before, I don't even know what their intention is with the 50 runs per day, because sometimes you actually get locked without even running this dungeon the same day. So I have experienced me being locked out of the dungeon, not even doing any dungeon runs that day. So it is really bugged out, and this is something that they will have to fix. But I don't think that this we are going to say now is an exploit or a game-breaking thing, but it is going to be completely up to you if you want to do this, because I don't want to get any of you guys in trouble. But what I know is that a lot of people is doing this. Everyone basically that is actually farming this, from what I know, is using this. But it is totally up to you. You can do your own research on what you think of this. But now we're going to talk about it at least. So what you have to do, if you have run 50 runs on Goldfarm Cleft and you have reached the limit on how many times you can actually join the dungeon, then we have found out that you are going to be locked on every character on the same realm. So all of your characters on the same realm is going to be locked out. You will not be able to do this on any of your characters on the same realm. However, if you have another farmer on another realm, let's say I have another hunter or whatever that I want to run this on another realm, I can go ahead and I can do that 50 times on that realm if I want to. And when I have done that the 50 times on that realm, my original character will unlock its runs again. So I can log back to this character and do 50 runs again. And it's possible to go back and forth unlimited amount of times to run this dungeon. So that's what you can do if you want to bypass the 50 limit. I'm not sure why it works like this. Sometimes you don't even have to run the 50 runs on the second character. So I'm not completely sure yet how this works. I just feel like this is a mess. This has to be something buggy. I'm not sure if we are allowed to run it an unlimited amount of times or not. I'm not sure what Blizzard's intention is. What I know though is, in my opinion, this isn't something that is going to break the game. It's not like you are pulling off millions of gold an hour or doing like something game breaking that we will get so much more cloth into the game. Like, it is fine for me, at least. I think it's going to be fine, but as I said, don't take my words on it. You will have to do your own research. But absolutely, this is the farm that I would recommend for everybody to actually do now if they want to make some easy gold. If you do this, even if you don't use the lockout thing, you will be able to make a token a month very easily. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.